Hello there guys and welcome to Sunday's live stream. I am JWF1 and we are here for day 3 here at the ref, the penultimate day of pre-season testing before the start of the new season. If you didn't see what happened yesterday in pre-season testing, it was an Etihad 1-2 with Lewis Hamilton topping the session ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who was his teammate for yesterday, and Romain Grosjean. He managed to get his Bud Light Line Motorsport into third place in the end, with the two EMRs following suit, Vettel in 4th and Hulkenberg in 5th position. And as you can see, bright and sunny here at the ref. So before we start then, let's quickly have a look at the drivers then that will be taking part in today's test. So let's have a look at it. So today you'll be seeing Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo in the Etihad. For Bud Light Line, you'll be seeing Antonio Giovinazzi and Felix Rosenqvist, Eldorado, Valtteri Bottas and Scott Dixon, EMR, Sebastian Vettel and Nico Hulkenberg. For Suomi, Kimi Räikkönen and Eero Avenio. GRM, Jean-Eric Vergne and Antonio Felix da Costa. Monster, Brendan Hartley and Oliver Rowland. AMP, Pascal Wehrlein and Stoffel Vandoorne. Martini, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Shadow, Charles Leclerc and Will Palmer. And finally, Mars Grand Prix have Joseph Newgarden and Marcus Armstrong. So they are the drivers taking part in today's test. So as you can see, as mentioned, bright and sunny, but without further ado, let's get to the next day of testing. And I think you can still hear the TV in the background, because that is still bloody hell. Anyway, as you can see then, we are in the pit lane, as you can see. And I've turned it down a little bit because I don't want to get copyrighted by Twitch, because I know how strict they can be now. But we're going to the end of the pit lane with Charles Leclerc, and especially on YouTube as well, because we know how strict their copyright laws are. So we'll wait and get this session underway, and our session as per usual, the penultimate day here at the ref and the penultimate day of pre-season testing before the start of the new season, and we have some track activity in the form of Joseph Newgarden. So Newgarden is coming out on the track for Mars Grand Prix. So out on track he goes then, as they go through turn 1 on the track. And as you can see, so Newgarden, first man out on track in the Mars Grand Prix car. And raring to go. Also on track we have Kimi Räikkönen and Suomi. Stoffel Vandoorne back out onto the track as for the first time since day 1. Will Palmer out there, as is Antonio Felix da Costa. As Brendan Hartley is going trundling down pit lane. And so he's going to be going out, as is Nico Hulkenberg. And so they are the cars currently out on track. We should expect some more pretty soon, but as you can see, there are TV graphics as well. And so through the next section of corners we go. Newgarden preparing to start his first flying lap of today, as he now goes up towards the double right-hander, or the first of his 2 flying laps on this run, as he now goes up towards the bus stop chicane. Through the right, left and right-hander he goes. And now through the second to last corner, up towards the final corner goes Newgarden. And let's see what his time is going to be around the final. See what he's able to do. He's about to start his lap, I should say, as he goes down the pit straight. So Newgarden crossing the line now then to start his first flying lap. Everybody, as you can see, according to the right hand side, is doing a lap. Newgarden chucks the car through in towards turn 1 then. And then around turn 2 we go, and Newgarden obviously so far been quite impressive in the Mars. Obviously in day 1 of Paul Ricard he managed to get the car up in 2nd, but then on day 4 he managed to only get 16th in the car. Probably the performance sort of catched up with them in the end, and then maybe people weren't pushing on day 1. But Newgarden does a 25 point something in the first sector there. I think it was a 0.2, I think it said. I might be wrong, my eyes, I could be blind. But anyway, so now through the next section of corners we go, as Newgarden already approaches the end of sector 2 now then, just going out of this left-hander. 48.3 goes Newgarden, as he now goes through the next few corners on the track. Up towards the bus stop chicane goes Newgarden. And let's see what the American is able to do on his first flying lap then. He'll be the one setting the benchmark time for everybody to beat. Up towards the final corner then goes Joseph Newgarden. And let's see what he is able to do then. Down the pit straight and across the line goes Newgarden. What's the target time going to be? A 1 minute 18.712. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen then. He crosses the line and he goes into second with that lap. Only second for Kimi Raikkonen. Third for Stoffel Vandoorne. Will Palmer slots into third with his lap. Da Costa goes to third. Here's Brendan Hartley on the track as he just goes out of these section of corners. And Hartley going up towards the final corner. And let's see what Hartley is able to do as he heads down the pit straight. Hulkenberg currently behind him. Hartley across the line he goes. He slots to fifth. Hulkenberg goes to fourth. Looked like Hartley held him up there on his lap. As we now look at Leclerc heading towards the final corner. Onto the pit straight goes the Monegasque driver. As one of the Etiads is behind. That looks like Daniel Ricciardo's helmet. Leclerc crosses the line. He slots to second with that lap. No, it's Alonso. And he goes fastest by 0.3 of a second. So Alonso, no surprise there, goes to the top of the timing sheets. Valtteri Bottas is going to cross the line himself. And he goes to third with that lap. Jean-Eric Vergne, sick for him. Verline crosses the line, 10th place. Giovinazzi 7th. Dixon, meantime, goes into 11th place. Newgarden currently up in second at the moment. But a lot of guys did get held up on their laps, so we could expect a lot of guys to improve a little bit later on. But Newgarden about to finish his second flying lap now then as he heads down the pit straight. And he stays where he is at the moment, which is P2. But there's still 8 more cars to do laps, of course. Let's not forget, Kimi's actually gone back into the pits. He's just settling with the one flying lap this time around. Vandoorne does not improve and stays 14th. Palmer stays where he is at the moment, which is P10. Da Costa stays 8th with that lap, as here goes Brendan Hartley as he will go into the pits. Hulkenberg choosing to do the same. Here's Charles Leclerc currently in 4th in the shadow as he now just goes through the section of corners as he chucks the car in. Up towards the final corner comes Charles Leclerc, and let's see what he's able to do on this lap then. Out of the final corner he goes and onto the pit straight. Leclerc going to cross the line. Is this going to be an improvement for him? And it isn't. He stays 4th for the meantime, as Lando Norris and Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo expected to come out onto the track quite soon. Valtteri Bottas then, across the line goes Bottas and stays 3rd for the moment. Here's Jean-Eric Vergne, across the line he goes, stays 6th. Pascal Wehrlein stays 12th. Giovinazzi stays 7th for the meantime. Dixon staying where he is at the moment, which is P11 in the Eldorado. As now, let's see, we go to Lando Norris. He'll be next to do a lap in the Martini. And so far, Martini having some successful testers so far. And again, we're very impressed with their young drivers yesterday that took part, George Russell and Nick de Vries. And Norris is their other young driver as well, and hoping to put on an impression if he can today in the Martini. So now Norris goes swooping around the left-hander then, and up towards the double right he goes. And Norris now then preparing to start his next flying lap then, as he goes up towards the bus stop chicane. So through the chicane goes Norris, as Bottas will be going back into the pits. And Rosenquist has come out for Bud Light Lime, but Norris preparing to start his first flying lap as he just goes out of the hairpin, heading down the pit straight. And Norris going to start his lap now then. So Norris starting his first flying lap as a couple of cars are going in or coming out of the pits. It looks like one of them might be Sebastian Vettel that's coming out onto the track. It looked like an EMR from the background. But anyways, it looked like one of the shadows was heading back into the pits, probably Leclerc. But at the moment then, with the 14 that have done a lap, here's what it looks like. Alonso top, Newgarden 2nd, Bottas 3rd, Leclerc 4th, Raikkonen 5th, Vergne 6th, Giovinazzi 7th, Da Costa 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Palmer 10th, Dixon 11th, Wehrlein 12th, Hartley 13th, and Vandoorne 14th. Newgarden, as you can see, not Newgarden, Norris, as you can see, 1/10 down in the first sector there. As he now goes through turn 6 on the track. And let's see what Norris is able to do as he just negotiates through towards the end of Sector 2 now, then going as fast as he can in the car. And Norris 2/10 down that time around in the second sector, as he now just goes out of that right-hander as we go up towards the bus stop chicane. And let's see what Norris is able to do on this lap now then, as he goes up towards the final corner. And Norris will soon be crossing the line on this lap out the final corner and onto The pit straight goes the young Brit. Norris crosses the line. What can he manage? And he goes to 6th for that lap. So it's P6 for Lando Norris as Vettel's about to start a lap, as is Roland and Armstrong. Here's Felix Rosenqvist in the Bud Light Lime. And his teammate's currently in 8th place for today. Rosenqvist's teammate being Antonio Giovinazzi today. Rosenqvist is coming out of the left-hander, and he's 1/10 down in the second sector. So Rosenqvist showing some good pace in the car. Whether this will get him into the top 3 or not, I don't know. But going through in towards the bus stop chicane then. Rosenqvist now then about to complete a lap. And he now goes up towards the final corner. And Rosenqvist is now going to cross the line. And Rosenqvist, is he going to improve? And he, in fact, will start a lap. He goes to 2nd with that lap. So it's P2 for Felix Rosenqvist. Looks like Bud Light Lime Motorsport finally getting some pace in the car, it must be said. Verstappen then in the Martini. What can he manage? He crosses the line and goes fastest by 1/10 of a second. Verstappen goes to the top of the timing sheet. So Max Verstappen at the top. Daniel Ricciardo, in the meantime, goes to 3rd. So it's P3 for Daniel Ricciardo. Here goes Aerovinio, I think it's pronounced in fact, Aerovinio. Could be wrong, as Raikkonen, his teammate, starts a lap. Here comes Lando Norris then as he heads down the pit straight. He does not improve on that lap. Sebastian Vettel in the EMR. Let's see what he's able to produce. Vettel crosses the line, goes to 4th for that lap. So P4 for Sebastian Vettel. As Oliver Rowland, meantime, goes to 20th. Palmer starting a lap. Armstrong goes to 20th for that lap. Hartley starting a lap there as Rosenqvist doing another. And so there's still yet to be one more who's left to do a lap as we go up towards the bus stop chicane. And Rosenqvist now then heading towards the final 2 corners on the track. And let's see what Felix is able to do. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we go. And Rosenqvist is now going to cross the line, and no improvement for Rosenqvist. He stays in 5th position as Verstappen just goes out of the hairpin. Is he looking to improve on his 1 minute 18.174? And no, he's not. Stays on that time for the meantime. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo in the Etihad. Ricciardo now then crosses the line, and he stays in 3rd with that lap. No improvement for Danny Rick. As here comes Aerovinio, and he goes to 11th, so he's just outside the top 10 at the moment. Raikkonen doesn't improve, stays in 9th with that lap. Here comes Jean-Eric Verne in the GRM. The Frenchman just goes down the pit straight. Vettel currently behind him on the road. Vettel currently 4th at this stage. He goes up to 11th, so an improvement for him. Vettel stays 4th with that lap. Leclerc crosses the line, stays where he is at the moment, which is... where is Leclerc? Currently P8 at the moment. Da Costa doesn't improve. Verlaine does, but he stays in 21st. Palmer doesn't improve. Nor does Armstrong, and nor does Hartley there. So the 2 Kiwis unable to improve on that lap. We look back at Vinio, who's on a lap. Aerovinio, as we go up towards the right-hander now then. Vinio now then going down this little straight before going through these 2 left-handers before approaching the end of sector 2. And let's see what Vinio's second sector is going to curtail. And he is 6/10 down in the second sector. Vinio might be on for an improvement. Just all depends how he hooks up the last sector really on his second flying lap. As he just negotiates through these section of corners now then. And Vinio now then through these corners, and he goes and up towards the final corner goes the young Finn. And let's see what he is able to do. Heading down the pit straight and across the line goes Vinio, and he does not improve and stays in 12th position. So meantime we look at Jean-Eric Verne, who just goes out of the final corner, and Verne is going to cross the line. Is this going to be an improvement for him? And no, it's not. Stays P11 with that lap, as Will Palmer just goes out of the final corner himself. And Palmer is going to cross the line, and let's see what the younger brother of Jolene can do. He stays in 16th at the moment. Hartley stays 19th at this stage, as Joseph Newgarden then just swoops around the right-hander before he starts his first flying lap. Anybody else on a flying lap? Doesn't appear like it. We'll go to Newgarden then, who's currently up in 6th place in the Mars, so getting the car up in places it shouldn't be at this stage is Joseph Newgarden. And sorry if we dropped a few frames there, but now we go through the left-hander Newgarden preparing to start his next flying lap now then. Out of the left-hander we go as we go up towards the bus stop chicane. And so going through these last 2 corners on the track as we go up towards the final corner. As we go down the pit straight, Newgarden then about to start his lap. So with nearly 14 minutes of this session completed, here is what the leaderboard looks like then. It's Verstappen at the top, Alonso 2nd, Ricciardo 3rd, Vettel 4th, Rosenqvist 5th, Newgarden 6th, Bottas 7th, Leclerc 8th, Raikkonen 9th, Norris in 10th, with Vergne 11th, Vinio 12th, Giovinazzi 13th, Da Costa 14th, Hulkenberg 15th, Palmer 16th, Dixon 17th, Verline 18th, Hartley 19th, Van Dorn in 20th, with Rowland 21st, and Armstrong in 22nd position. So that's how the leaderboard currently stands at this stage, as Newgarden's only 1/10 down in the first sector there compared to Max Verstappen as he breaks in towards turn 6 now then on the track, as he just swoops around that corner then. Through the section of corners then goes Joseph Newgarden up towards the left-hander now then, as he will now go up towards the double right, and he's 2/10 down that time around in the second sector. So Newgarden looks to be on for an improvement. Let's see, shall we? I would presume he'd probably be only gaining 1 place as a result, because he wasn't far from Vettel's overall time there. So obviously you lose a little bit of time as you go through the lap, and I would presume Newgarden will probably go in 5th according to my calculations. I could be wrong. He might pull a miracle in the last sector, of course, but we will see. Coming out the final corner then, Newgarden then across the line goes the American, and he goes up to 5th, so I predicted it right. Going up to P5 goes Joseph Newgarden, so a slight improvement for the young American, as 2 cars about to start that, one of them being the man currently at the top, which is Max Verstappen. We look at Stoffel Van Dorn, 7/10 down in the second sector goes the young Belgian, and he just goes out of the bus stop chicane, heading towards the final 2 corners. There we go, and let's see what Van Dorn is able to do as he just powers through the final corner. Onto the pit straight goes Van Dorn, and he will now cross the line, and he improves to only go up to 19th with that lap, so not much of an improvement there for Stoffel Van Dorn as Norris starts the lap. Van Dorn's teammate just comes out onto the track. Here comes Fernando Alonso across the line. Can he improve? He does, but stays in 2nd, and he closes the gap a little bit between himself and Max Verstappen as Vinio just negotiates out of that bus stop chicane. And a lot of cars prepared to start the lap. Here's Bottas. He's hoping that the guy in front of him, Marcus Armstrong, will not be holding him up. Bottas currently 7th at this stage. Looks like the Eldorado has picked up some pace from Paul Ricard, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the position where Eldorado want to be at this stage, as Bottas approaches the final corner. Right on board with the flying fin as he now goes down the pit straight, and let's see what Bottas is able to achieve. He does not improve and stays in 7th. Newgarden meantime stays 5th with that lap, no improvement. Rosenqvist starting a lap behind. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets held up on his lap. Here's Nico Hulkenberg then. He now crosses the line. Hulkenberg goes up to 6th for that lap, so up to P6 goes Nico Hulkenberg, so an improvement for the German. Verstappen doesn't improve, stays on a 1 minute 18.174. Hamilton so far the fastest man overall of the weekend again so far. There's Van Dorn now then on a lap. He goes up towards the final corner to complete his 2nd flying lap of this run. Out the final corner he goes, and onto the pit straight. Van Dorn crosses the line and stays 19th with that lap. Norris stays 11th. Verline starting a lap in 18th. Here comes Fernando Alonso. Across the line he goes. No improvement. Stays in 2nd with that lap as Vinio just negotiates through the bus stop chicane. And as he just goes out of the 2nd last corner, up towards the final corner then goes Aero Vinio. He's currently in 13th place at the minute, 3 places behind today's teammate Kimi Raikkonen. Vinio then crosses the line and doesn't improve, stays 13th with that lap. Here comes Oliver Rowland in the Monster And he will now cross the line himself, and he improves but stays 21st. Vettel stays P4 for the time being. Ricciardo staying where he is, which is P3. Armstrong staying in 21st but improves on his best time. Bottas no improvement. No improvement also for Felix Rosenqvist. Here is Nico Hülkenberg, currently in 6th place at the minute, and Hülkenberg is now going to cross the line, and as Hülkenberg then goes through turn 1, and as I mentioned, no improvement then for the German as going through the next section of corners. Norris then going up towards the final corner, and let's see what Lando is able to achieve as he now heads down the pit straight himself. Norris is going to cross the line, and so going through the first corner, as mentioned, no improvement for Norris there. As we look at Vinio, sorry, as he just goes out of the bus stop chicane, and let's see what Vinio is able to achieve as he goes up towards the final corner. Vinio now then down the pit straight and across the line he goes. This is going to be an improvement for him. No, it's not. Stays in 13th place for the minute. As we look at Ollie Rowland then in the Monster. As can he improve? Nope, stays last for the minute. Vettel stays 4th. Ricciardo stays 3rd for the moment. As we look at Felix Rosenqvist in the Bud Light Line Motorsport, and no improvement for him. Stays in 7th. So that's that for him really at this time. Verline going through the double right-hander now then, and Verline just goes up towards the bus stop chicane as he's about to complete his next flying lap. Through the second to last corner he goes then, and up towards the final corner goes the German. I think this will be his last day in the car, of course, before the new season. I think Mick Schumacher will take his role tomorrow at day 4, as we've had nearly 20 minutes of the session gone. As Verline crosses the line, no improvement, stays in 18th place. So that's that for him really. And let's go and look at Giovinazzi, unless there's somebody else on the lap. Nope. So here is Antonio Giovinazzi, who's currently 14th at the moment, outside the top 10, below teammate Rosenqvist at this stage. As he just goes through the double right-hander. Giovinazzi now then up towards the bus stop chicane he goes, and so out the corner then, heading through these last 2 corners on the track, and let's see what Giovinazzi is able to do. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we go, and Giovinazzi about to start his lap, and he's currently at the moment in 14th place. We ride on board with Antonio Giovinazzi as he goes through turn 1 on the track. Gio then up towards turn 2, and let's see what he's able to do. So if you heard a motorbike in the background, somebody's obviously revving it quite high. As now through in towards turn 5, let's see what his first sector is like, and he is 1/10 down in the first sector compared to Max Verstappen. And we'll see what his second sector is like. At the moment, Giovinazzi looks to be on an improvement, but we will see as he just goes out of the right-hander then. Through the double left goes Antonio, as he will now go up towards this next left-hander on the track. His second sector, let's have a look. He's 2/10 down in the second sector. So, yep, Gio is on for an improvement, because overall he's 8/10 behind Verstappen. Giovinazzi looking to be on an improvement, looking to get the car into the top 10, maybe up towards where Newgarden is, so maybe even a top 5 looks like, if you can keep this pace up. Maybe even a top 4, who knows. But anyway, Giovinazzi then up towards the final corner. Let's see what the young Italian can manage. Out the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Giovinazzi, as he will now cross the line, and he goes up to 5th, so up into the top 5 goes Giovinazzi. And so it's 5th place now for Antonio Giovinazzi. We look at Will Palmer in the shadow. Palmer currently in 16th. Let's see what his second sector is like. 8 temps down in the second sector. Don't know if that will be enough for an improvement, but we will see, as one of the Suomis is currently into shot with him there. Don't know which one it is though. And just over 38 minutes now left in the session, as Palmer just continues to go through these final few corners then. And let's see what Palmer is able to do. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we go. And Palmer is going to cross the line. And no improvement for Palmer, staying where he is at the moment, which is P16. Raikkonen doesn't improve, nor does Verne, and nor does Leclerc, as Norris is about to come out onto the track. Here's Scott Dixon then, in the Eldorado. Dixon currently 17th at the minute. Let's see what Scott Dixon is able to achieve. He crosses the line and goes up to 12, so a big improvement there for Dixon to get himself up into P12. That's Hulkenberg now then, prepared to start his lap, same as Van Dorn. As back into the pits goes Antonio Giovinazzi. Hartley then, his second sector, he's 6 attempts down. And Hartley looking to be on an improvement, just depends how he hooks up the last sector. And so at the moment, with nearly, if I'm correct, nearly 24 minutes gone in this session. Here is what 23 minutes gone in this session. Here's what the leaderboard looks like. Verstappen top, Alonso second, Ricciardo third, Vettel fourth, Giovinazzi fifth, Newgarden sixth, Hulkenberg seventh, Rosenqvist eighth, Bottas ninth, Leclerc 10th, Raikkonen in 11th, as Hartley improves to go to 16th. Raikkonen 11th, Dixon 12th, Norris 13th, Verne 14th, Vinio 15th, Hartley just now went up to 16th, with DaCosta 17th, Palmer 18th, Verline 19th, Van Dorn 20th, Armstrong 21st, and Rowland in 22nd position. Newgarden doesn't improve, stays in 6th place with that lap. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen in the Suomi. And let's see what Kimi is able to achieve. He's not going to improve and stays in P11. Verne staying where he is, which is P14 now. Then Lando Norris starts his lap, as DaCosta meantime stays in 17th. Alonso doesn't improve, stays second with that lap. Here comes Scott Dixon in the Eldorado, staying in 12th with that lap. Hulkenberg now then, currently 7th. Is he looking to try and improve on that lap if he can, as he just exits out the final corner? And Hulkenberg now then, heading down the pit straight, and no improvement for Hulkenberg, stays in 7th. Van Dorn staying in 20th with that lap. Ricciardo preparing to go back out onto the track. Bottas crosses the line, goes up to 5th with that lap, so up to P5 goes Valtteri Bottas. A big improvement for Valtteri to get up into P5, and even locks up down at turn 1 there, as you can see. Clearly shows how much he was pushing hard on that lap, and now trying to slow himself down as he went through into towards turn 1. Brendan Hartley then, out of the final corner he goes, and let's see what he is able to do. And he doesn't improve and stays in 16th with that lap. Joseph Newgarden then entering the final corner, and Newgarden then is going to cross the line, and it's going to be an improvement. Note stays 7th with that lap then, as Max Verstappen prepares to start his next final lap. His teammate for today, Lando Norris, is currently on 1 as he just exits out the final corner. Riding on board with Lando Norris, competing in GP2 this season with light-based Sony Racing, hoping to do a good job and maybe challenge for the championship if he can. He doesn't improve, stays 13th. As DaCosta stays 17th and Alonso stays 2nd. Looked like there was a lot of traffic on Alonso's lap there that time around. It's always been a curse of Etihad over these last few years, traffic. As now Hulkenberg enters towards the final corner. And let's see what Hulkenberg is able to do on this lap. And he stays in 8th place with that lap. As we look at Valtteri Bottas now then. Bottas currently 5th at this stage, as he now crosses the line, stays in 5th place. As Ricciardo prepares to start his next flying lap. But we look at Verstappen, who's currently at the top. Is he going to be on for an improvement? Let's see what his second sector is like. And only 5 thousandths down in the second sector. He could pull that back in the last sector though. But so far it appears to be down on his personal best at the moment. Verstappen on a 1 minute 18.174 in this session. And he just goes out of the bus stop chicane. Verstappen then up towards the final corner goes the teenage Dutchman. And let's see what he's able to do then. Out the final corner, onto the pit straight goes Max Verstappen. And he's now going to cross the line. and he does not improve by only 12 thousandths of a second, stays on 1 minute 18.174 in this session. As now we look at Daniel Ricciardo, who's on a lap in the Etihad. This will be his final day in the Etihad. He'll go back into the GRM tomorrow to partner alongside De Costa, because I think Etihad will be using their main drivers tomorrow, being Alonso and Hamilton. His first sector, 1/10 down in the second sector there. I think I accidentally said first sector, but it's second sector. Ricciardo now then up towards the bus stop chicane. And let's see what Ricciardo is able to do then. Out of the chicane then, through the final two corners then, goes Daniel Ricciardo. And let's see what the Australian can manage then. Down the pit straight he goes, and across the line goes Daniel Ricciardo. And is this an improvement? It is, but he stays in third place. So he closes up a little bit to Fernando Alonso there. As Marcus Armstrong now then enters through the final corner to start his next final lap, same as Rosenqvist. Here's Max Verstappen then, out of the chicane, looking to try and see if he could try and improve on his lap. We ride on board with Max as he heads in towards the final corner then. Onto the pit straight we go. Verstappen is going to cross the line, and let's see what Verstappen is able to do. He does not improve and stays in stays on a 1 minute 18.174 at the moment. So far, the fastest time we've seen throughout the weekend. That still goes to Lewis Hamilton in the Etihad. As Ricciardo currently on another lap, and look like Vettel there, I think we were reviewing there, looks like he's going to get held up on his next flying lap. Ricciardo 3 temps down in the second sector, looks like he's just gathering miles for the team then. So we've had nearly half an hour of this session completed. In towards the bus stop we go, and Ricciardo now then through the bus stop, heading through the final two corners on the track, and Ricciardo is going towards the final corner then, and he will soon cross the line. And Ricciardo now then across the line goes the Australian, and he does not improve, stays in third place for the time being, as Iro Vinio is about to start a lap. And so that's that, as we now look at Marcus Ericsson then, Armstrong, got the wrong Marcus. Armstrong crosses the line and stays in 21st with that lap. And Jesus Christ, I'm losing my mind. Rosenqvist now then, who's currently 9th, crosses the line, stays P9 for the moment. Both Bud Light Limes into the top 10, so it seems that the Irish team must have found some pace during this test, as Roland is definitely holding up Vettel a treat at the moment. Vettel currently 4th at the moment in the EMR, as Roland goes up towards the final corner then, and onto the pit straight. Across the line goes Dion Britt. Roland crosses the line. Is this going to be an improvement? It is, but he stays last at the moment. Vettel doesn't improve, as a result, again held up by Roland, stays in 4th for the meantime. As we look back at Vinio then, who's 5 temps down in the second sector. Vinio currently in 15th at this stage. As we now go through the bus stop chicane, and up towards the final corner then goes Vinio. And let's see what he's able to do then, as we have just over half an hour of the session remaining. Heading down the pit straight then goes Iro Vinio, and Vinio crosses the line. No improvement, stays 15th, and has to jam on the brakes here because one of the shadows has come out on track. It looks like Leclerc as Dixon starts a lap. Will Palmer now then in the shadow, crosses the line, stays in 18th at the moment. Giovinazzi stays 6th. Armstrong staying in 21st. As Hartley starts a lap, here comes Felix Rosenqvist in the Bud Light Lime. He crosses the line and stays where he is, which is P number 9. Kimi Räikkönen in the Suomi. Räikkönen currently just outside the top 10 in 11th. Räikkönen is going to cross the line, and he goes up to 10th, so he gets himself into the top 10, pushes Leclerc down. Verline improves to go up into 16th place, as Roland again holding up Vettel on this lap then. And Vettel, I don't think, will be very happy. He'll probably be calling on the radio, blue flags, blue flags. So Roland crosses the line, stays in 22nd position. Vettel, no improvement, stays in 4th place. As we look at Jean-Eric Vergne then, as he just goes through the final two corners on the track. And just under half an hour to go then. We've already had half an hour of this session completed. Vern now then crosses the line and stays where he is at the moment, which is P14. As Vinio's on another lap, heading up towards the final corner. Luckily for him, Leclerc isn't going to impede him this time, but he was held up at the beginning of the lap, so Vinio's lap was already compromised. But let's see what the time is going to be anyway for Aero, and he stays 15th with that lap. Dixon stays 12th for the moment. His teammate currently up in 5th at this stage. Will Palmer now then across the line, and Palmer staying in 19th now. He's down to 19th. Giovinazzi stays 6th. As we look at Brendan Hartley then in the Monster, and he goes up to 17th, so a slight improvement for Hartley, only getting 1 place out of that, so up to 17th place goes Brendan Hartley. We now look at Kimi Räikkönen and Suomi, as looks like Wehrlein is coming to shot in the background. I believe that's Wehrlein, but anyway, Räikkönen, no improvement. It is Wehrlein. Wehrlein doesn't improve either. He stays 16th at the minute. I think it said 16th on the left. Yes, it does. It's Da Costa prepared to start another lap. Here's his teammate for today, Jean-Eric Verne. His last day in the car before he gets off to Australia, because Ricciardo will be returning to the GRM for day 4. As Verne now then through the bus stop chicane we go. As he will now go up towards the final corner on the track. And let's see then what Verne's time is going to be as he heads down the pit straight, and across the line goes Jean-Eric Verne, and no improvement for Verne. He stays in 14th position. As Leclerc now then enters through the final corner. Onto the pit straight goes the Monegasque driver, and he crosses the line. Is this going to be an improvement? It's not. He stays 11th for the meantime. As Dixon meantime stays 12th. And let's have a look then at Brendan Hartley, who enters towards the final corner himself, as he now heads down the pit straight, and Hartley is going to cross the line. And is this going to be an improvement? It isn't. He stays 17th as Bottas just goes down pit lane to begin his next flying laps, as Da Costa looks to be on an improvement, as he's only 4 attempts down there in the second sector. So the young Portuguese driver looking to be on an improvement as he just enters towards the bus stop chicane. And let's see what Da Costa is able to do then as he just enters towards the final 2 corners. And let's see then, so around the final corner, and he will go onto the pit straight, and Da Costa is going to cross the line, and he improves to go up to 14th place, so he gets in front of today's teammate Jean-Eric Verne. So Da Costa staying 14th at the minute, as we look at Charles Leclerc, who just enters towards the final 2 corners then. And let's see what Leclerc is able to do then. So he's currently just outside the top 10 is Charles, but Charles enters down the pit straight, and across the line he goes, stays P11 with that lap then. And Newgarden about to start a lap, as looking for somebody else on a lap. It'd be Da Costa again. Da Costa on another flying lap then, as he just goes through the controversial turn 6 where Villeneuve and Schumacher had their collision back in 1997, which Schumacher was found guilty and got disqualified from the 1997 Formula 1 World Championship. Da Costa now then swooping around that left-hander, as he's 6 attempts down the time around in the second sector. So Da Costa not looking like he's going to be on for an improvement again, but it looks like he's just gathering mileage runs, it appears. So through the bus stop goes the Portuguese driver then. Let's see then, as he now enters through these final 2 corners then, and onto towards Lorenzo corner, which is the final corner on the track. And he'll now go down the pit straight, and Da Costa going across the line himself, and he stays 14th with that lap then, as Alonso starts his lap, his next flying lap I should say, as will Verstappen and teammate Norris. So it looks like Martini getting both their guys out there at the same time. Newgarden looks like he might have got held up by Hulkenberg coming out of the pits there, so his lap might have got compromised. Newgarden currently 7th in the Mars Grand Prix car, but he's now going up towards the final corner. And let's see then, around the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Joseph Newgarden, and he will now cross the line and does not improve and stays in 7th place with that lap as Rosenquist prepares to start his lap. Here's Valtteri Bottas then in the Eldorado, just under 25 minutes to go now then in the session, as Bottas just enters out of the final corner himself. Bottas is going to cross the line, and he stays in 5th place for the minute, as Roland just going out of pit lane. Here comes Stoffel Vandoorne heading down the pit straight himself, and Vandoorne staying in 20th place for the minute, as Ricciardo about to start a lap in the Etihad. As here is his teammate for today, Fernando Alonso, who's currently in 2nd place. Fernando then coming up towards the final corner. Is Alonso on for an improvement? Let's see. As he heads down the pit straight, Alonso is going to cross the line, and he improves but stays in 2nd, so he's now only within 500 of Max Verstappen, so big improvement there for the 3-time champ Fernando Alonso. As Verstappen, meantime, speaking of which, enters through the final corner. Is he going to improve on his 1 minute 18.174? Let's see then. Verstappen, across the line he goes, and he does, but only by 14,000 of a second, so he doesn't really improve by that much. Norris, meantime, improves to get himself into the top 10, so Norris up into 10th place with that lap. Vettel starting a lap. His teammate doesn't improve and stays in 8th. Newgarden staying in 7th place, as here is Felix Rosenquist. Verstappen now on a 1 minute 18.160, so that's his current time for the moment, as Rosenquist enters out of the final corner. And does he improve? Nope, stays 9th, as Bottas stays P5 at the moment. I think Eldorado pretty surprised he's up in 5th place at the minute, as Vandoorne now then enters out of the final corner himself, and he will now cross the line. And he does not improve and stays where he is. Ricciardo, meantime, looked like he lost a lot of time. In fact, I don't know if he made a mistake, but he stays in 3rd place, 1.3 seconds off on his first flying lap of this run. It looked like Ricciardo must have made a mistake, because I can't imagine him being that far off the pace. Alonso then, through the final corner, the 3-time champion, heading down the pit straight, and Alonso is now going to cross the line, and he stays in 2nd place with that lap. Armstrong heading towards the final corner, and let's see what Marcus can do then as he heads down the pit straight, and Armstrong is going to cross the line, and he improves to go up to 19th, so slight improvement there for the Kiwi. Max Verstappen doesn't improve and stays in on a 1 minute 18.160. Norris stays 10th with that lap. Vettel stays 4th, as his teammate Hulkenberg stays in 8th place for the minute, as Rosenquist enters through these final 2 corners then. And let's see what the Season 3 IFMC GP3 champion can do, as Rosenquist heads down the pit straight, and across the line he will go, and he stays where he is at the moment, which is P number 9, as his teammate for today, Giovinazzi, about to come out on track quite soon. Ollie Rowland then, out of the final corner he goes, and Rowland crosses the line, and he stays in stays in last at the moment. Ricciardo doesn't improve, stays in 3rd place behind teammate Alonso, as Verline's about to start another lap. As we look at Aerovania, and he does not improve, he stays in 16th place for the moment. And Marcus Armstrong then heading out of the bus stop chicane there, as he will go up towards the final corner, and let's see if Armstrong is looking at an improvement. Down the pit straight he goes. He is up in 90 for the moment. He improved on his previous flying lap, or was this just a mileage run? It looked like it's just a mileage run, as he stays in 19th place for the minute. So now we look at Sebastian Vettel in the EMR. Vettel crosses the line, and he stays 4th for the meantime. No improvement for the German, as Verline now then negotiates through the double left-hander, and his 2nd sector is 4 temps down, in the 2nd sector. Might be on for improvement, we'll have to wait and see, because he's overall 8 temps behind Verstappen in this session. Verline currently down in 17th with his teammate down in 21st. AMP clearly struggling, it appears, and looks like there's a lot of work to be done. Sorry about that. As Verline now then crosses the line, he does improve, but only up into 15th place. So not what AMP expected there. Vinio crosses the line, and Vinio stays 17th for the meantime. As Kimi Räikkönen is about to start a lap, as he's Palmer. We'll look back at Verline then, because he appears to be the only one that's doing a flying lap. Just over 20 minutes to go now left in this session, as Verline now then through the right-hander he goes. Looked like he got a little bit of a twitch through that left-hander as he's 7 tenths down the first sector. But here is the leaderboard then, with just under 20 minutes to go now in the session. Verstappen top, Alonso second, Ricciardo third, Vettel fourth, Bottas fifth, Giovinazzi sixth, Newgarden seventh, Hülkenberg eighth, Rosenqvist ninth, Norris 10th, Raikkonen 11th, Leclerc 12th, Dixon 13th, Da Costa 14th, Verline 15th, Verne 16th, Vinio 17th, Hartley 18th, Armstrong 19th, Palmer 20th, Van Dorn 21st, and Rowland in 22nd position. So that's how the leaderboard currently stands at this stage. And as Verline now then approaches the bus stop chicane. And so now through the final 2 corners then goes Pascal, as he will now go up towards the final corner and onto the pit straight we go. And Verline now then is going to cross the line himself, and he stays 15th with that lap. So that's that for him, as Hartley is about to start his lap, as is Da Costa. We now look at Kimi Räikkönen then, who just approaches the double right-handers. Räikkönen 4 tenths down in the second sector there. And let's see what Raikkonen's able to do on this lap then, as he just flicks the car in. And using all the curb as possible, as Raikkonen goes up towards the final corner. And let's see what Kimi is able to do then. Out the final corner and onto the pit straight goes the Suomi driver. And Raikkonen then goes across the line, and no improvement. He stays where he is at the moment, which is P11. As Leclerc just goes through turn 1 there to start a lap. His teammate for today, Palmer, doesn't improve, stays in 20th. Bottas starting a lap behind him. We now look at Bottas's today teammate, Scott Dixon. He should be back in the Mars Grand Prix car tomorrow. But Dixon now then is going to cross the line, and Dixon stays in 13th place, as Giovinazzi doesn't improve and stays in 6th. As we now look at Verne, who enters in towards the final corner. Through the final corner then and onto the pit straight goes the Frenchman. We're 12 minutes away from the 2 o'clock mark. Verne crosses the line, and is this an improvement? No, it's not. Stays 16th for the moment, does the Frenchman. Here's Brendan Hartley then, just entering out of the bus stop chicane. And Hartley now then, goes up towards the final corner himself. And Hartley now then enters down the pit straight, and Hartley is going to cross the line, and Hartley does not improve and stays in 18th place. Alonso starting a lap, as Van Dorn starts a lap himself. He's currently down in 21st and looking to improve, like Verline did a little earlier on. His teammate Da Costa now then heading down the pit straight, and Da Costa crosses the line. No improvement for Da Costa. He stays in 14th. Raikkonen doesn't improve, stays where he is. Leclerc also staying where he is as well. Palmer and Bottas about to finish off their laps. Palmer doesn't improve, and nor does Bottas. They stay where they are at the present moment. Dixon approaching the final corner himself, and Dixon heads down the pit straight. Dixon currently 13th, and across the line he goes, and he stays 13th for the moment. Giovinazzi crosses the line, and he stays in 6th place. And Verne now then entering towards the final corner, and he now goes down the pit straight, and Verne crosses the line, and he does not improve and stays in 16th. Hülkenberg starting a lap behind. Here's Newgarden then, currently 7th in the Mars Grand Prix car, doing what he did at Paul Ricard and doing a stunning job. But let's see if Newgarden is on for an improvement then as he comes out of the final corner. Then Newgarden going across the line and staying in 7th for the meantime. Brendan Hartley stays 18th. Alonso across the line, no improvement, stays in second place. Stoffel Vandoorne, is this an improvement? It is, but only up to 20th, so not much of an improvement. Not what AMP expected out of the Belgian that time around. As De Costa now then crosses the line, stays 14th. Leclerc currently 12th, stays 12th. As Bottas goes out of the final corner, the man that won his first race back in season 3, and Eldorado's as well. He does not improve and stays 5th that time around. Whether Eldorado will be on for a tricky season or not, we don't know, as Hulkenberg is only 2 tenths down in the second sector. The German might be on for an improvement. We'll just have to wait and see as he breaks in towards the bus stop chicane now then. Out of the corner then he goes, and he will go up towards the final corner. And let's see what Hulkenberg is able to do then. Out of the final corner and onto the pit straight he goes, and Hulkenberg crosses the line. Is this an improvement? And it is, but stays where he is at the moment, still in P8 at the present moment. I don't know if my voice is starting to go a little bit, but Newgarden then, around the final corner he goes, as he exits out of Lorenzo corner then. And across the line goes Newgarden, and he stays where he is at the moment, which is P7. So that's that for him. As Vandoorne crosses the line, I think Alonso just did another lap, and it's clear he didn't improve. Vandoorne stays 20th. And so that's that. As we look back at Nico Hulkenberg, as the sparks come off the back of his car as he went down the hill, coming out onto the first part of Sector 2 there. Now somebody's going to meme that in, aren't they? As now Hulkenberg then enters towards the left-hander. Just over 14 minutes left, 5 tenths down in the second sector that time around. And he just enters these corners now on the track, up towards the bus stop chicane on the track. And let's see what Hulkenberg is able to do as he goes through the final 2 corners then. Up towards the final corner then goes Nico Hulkenberg. And let's see what he is able to do then as he heads down the pit straight, and across the line goes Hulkenberg. And is this an improvement? Nope, stays 8th with that lap at the moment. As here's Lando Norris in the Martini as he crosses the line, and he goes up to 6th with that lap. So up to P6 goes Lando Norris. A big improvement for him to get himself up into P6. So both Martinis in the top 6 at the moment, as Ricciardo prepares to start his lap. Vandoorne going in, and Armstrong, luckily for him, that wasn't his flying lap, so luckily for him he's got a clear run for his next flying lap. And we'll look at Norris then, who's currently on the lap, as it looked like a little bit of sparks come off the back of his Martini there, and a few more there as he entered turn 5. 3 tenths down in the second sector there goes, first sector goes Lando Norris, as he now enters the right-hander now then. And let's see what Norris is able to do then as he enters through the double left-hander now then. And let's see what his second sector is going to curtail. And his second sector 6 tenths down at that time, as he will now enter towards the section of corners then. Up towards the bus stop chicane we go. And Norris now then. Through he goes then, around the final 2 corners then, and on towards the final corner. And let's see what Lando Norris is able to do. Out of the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Norris, and he now crosses the line and stays in 6th place at the present moment. As Verline looks like he's impeding Ricciardo on this lap, so that will not help the Aussie at all by trying to close up onto Alonso and Verstappen in front of him at this stage of testing. Out the final corner goes Daniel Ricciardo. Let's see how much time he's lost as a result of Verline holding him up. A 1 minute 19.820, 1.6 off Verstappen, so it shows how much Verline held him up there on his lap. As Verstappen meantime approaches the final corner, and let's see what Mad Max is able to do. Is he on for an improvement? Is he on for an improvement of his 1 minute 18.160? Nope, stays on his best time at the moment. Sebastian Vettel improves but stays in fourth place. Only 3 tenths now off Verstappen. As Giovinazzi is about to start a lap. As his teammate's currently on one. Just over 11 minutes now left in the session then. Rosenqvist going up towards the final corner. And let's see what Felix is able to do as he heads down the pit straight, and Rosenqvist crosses the line and no improvement, stays in P10. He's still in the cusp of the top 10 at this stage. Palmer starting a lap, and we'll look at Verline then, who's holding up Ricciardo an absolute treat at the minute. We ride on board with Pascal as he just negotiates through the bus stop chicane now then on the track, using as much curve as possible through the final 2 corners then, and up towards the final corner then goes Pascal as he just goes around the final corner. Onto the pit straight goes Pascal, and he will now cross the line. And let's see what Verline is able to do. He does not improve, and he stays in 15th place. Ricciardo didn't improve either because he got further held up by Verline. Ricciardo still in 3rd place. Armstrong, no improvement for him, still in 19th place. Roland now then, who's currently last, crosses the line 2 Prits at the back, and he stays in 22nd position. Vinio stays in 17th. Verstappen stays on a 1 minute 18.16, so he's still at the top of the moment. Vettel stays 4th at the moment. Dixon starting a lap as we now look at Antonio Giovinazzi, and he improves to go up into 7th place, so a tad improvement there for Giovinazzi. Well, in fact, he stays 7th, I should say. I do apologise, but he improves on his best time. His teammate enters towards the final corner. 10 minutes now left in the session. Rosenqvist crosses the line, and he stays 10th for the moment, as here comes Will Palmer in the shadow, stays 21st, still second to last at this stage. Kimi Räikkönen then through the final corner he goes. And let's see what Räikkönen is able to do. He now crosses the line, and Räikkönen stays where he is at the moment, which is P11. So that's that, as Verline now then enters towards the final corner. And Verline now then heads down the pit straight, and he will now cross the line. And Verline staying where he is at the moment, which is P15, as Ricciardo went back into the pits. Here comes Roland then. Out of the final corner he goes as he heads down the pit straight. Roland across the line, stays 22nd. Vinio does not improve and stays in 17th position. Scott Dixon now then heading down the pit straight, and Dixon crosses the line and stays in 13th position. As Giovinazzi stays 7th, no improvement. And now, as you can see, Will Palmer now then entering towards the bus stop chicane. And now Palmer enters towards the final corner. As he now heads down the pit straight, Palmer is going to cross the line, and he gets a checkered flag next to his name but stays where he is, and Palmer finishes his session in 2nd to last. That's the maximum he's going to be able to get in this session. Verne gets a checkered flag next to his name, this lap being his last, and he stays where he is at the moment. Räikkönen also getting the checkered flag and finishes up in 11th on his final flying lap there then. Verline going into the pits, as we'll look at Scott Dixon then in the Eldorado. Just over 8 minutes left. 5 tenths down the second sector goes the 5-time IndyCar champion in real life, I believe he is, as he now enters towards the bus stop. Or he's a 6th time, it's one of the two. And so now through the bus stop he goes, as he will now enter towards the final corner, which is Lorenzo corner. And we dropped a few frames there, I do apologise. And I know Red Bull Academy put out a tweet saying that how my commentating works, but he says that by mistake, I think, just to clarify, he said when I talk about my frames, he thinks I'm worried about the game crashing. That's not what I'm worried about. It's if my internet dies. That's what it is. That's if it goes offline, the stream. That's what I mean by the frames. The frames usually give an indication on how well the internet is performing, really. Just to let you know, as Hartley didn't improve on that lap. Just a correction there, Red Bull Academy, if you ever want to make that tweet again. So Verne now then, as he goes up towards the final corner, and let's see what the Frenchman is able to do. And he will now cross the line, and he will stay in 16th place. No improvement for him, as Alonso looks like he's going back out onto the track. Bottas starting a lap. As we'll look back at Hartley then in the Monster, as he just goes through turn 6 then. Just under 7 minutes now left in the session, as he will now go through the section of corners now then. Hartley goes up towards the double right-hander. And let's see now then as we go up towards the bus-stop chicane. And so through these next section of corners, and now up towards the final 2 corners then goes Brendan Hartley, and let's see what he is able to do as he now goes down the pit straight, and Hartley is going to cross the line, and no improvement. He stays in 18th, and he gets a checkered flag to his name, so his session has come to a close. The man that's currently at top, Verstappen, is going out onto the track, and we should be expecting Ricciardo as well, so a glimpse of him there while we were in the pit lane. As Bottas now then through the bus stop chicane he goes. Bottas currently up in an impressive 5th at the moment, definitely better than what Eldorado has been doing so far throughout the 2 pre-season tests at Paul Ricard and Jerez. So and even these previous few days as well, and even all the days at Paul Ricard. Bottas crosses the line, stays in 5th. He gets the checkered flag against his name. The lap he's on, it will be his final flying lap. Newgarden then flicking the car through the bus stop. He's currently 8th at the minute then, as he just goes out of the final 2 corners then. Newgarden through Lorenzo corner he goes. And let's see what the American can do as he heads down the pit straight. And across the line goes Joseph Newgarden, and he stays 8th with that lap. And he gets a checkered flag to his name. The lap he's on will be his last. Same with Da Costa as well, as he didn't improve on that lap. Then Charles Leclerc out of the final corner he goes. Leclerc currently 12th in the shadow. Let's see where he's able to go then. The Monegasque driver crosses the line and stays 12th, gets a checkered flag next to his name. He's on his final flying lap now then. So now we look at Van Dorn. Behind him was Alonso doing a lap. Alonso looks like he's got some clear air. Van Dorn getting the car flicked in through the bus stop. Under 5 minutes are left in the session as we go through the final 2 corners. Then Van Dorn up towards the final corner he goes, and let's see what he is able to do then as he heads down the pit straight and across the line. And Van Dorn stays 20th, gets the checkered flag to his name, and his sessions come to a close. Alonso doesn't improve, stays 2nd with that lap. Ricciardo preparing to start his next final lap. Bottas going across the line and stays 5th on his final flying lap. Norris, who's currently in 6th place in the Martini, heads up towards the final corner. And let's see what Lando is able to do then as he heads down the pit straight, and across the line goes Norris, and he does not improve, and he stays in 6th place at the moment. And a lot of people in real life believe he's going to win the Formula 2 championship this year. So meantime, Da Costa crosses the line and he stays 14th with that lap, and that's all considering the fact that Norris has just been dominant during the testing sessions for Formula 2. As now Leclerc heads down the pit straight and across the line he goes, and he stays 12th on his final flying lap. Hülkenberg crosses the line and no improvement, stays in 9th place with that lap. As we look at Max Verstappen in the Martini, is this going to be an improvement for him? And it is by 200ths of a second. So now Verstappen on 1 minute 18.126. He's 1/10 clear now of Fernando Alonso, as Vettel about to start a lap. Van Dorn going into the pits as we look at Fernando Alonso then, who enters towards the final corner. And we now go down the pit straight, and Verstappen's even got the checkered flag next to his name. Fernando Alonso crosses the line on his final flying lap, stays in 2nd. His teammate for today, Daniel Ricciardo, crosses the line and stays 3rd. He's on his final flying lap now as he gets the checkered flag next to his name. Armstrong, as we have under 3 minutes now remaining in the session, Armstrong crosses the line, stays in 19th place. A lot of guys now getting the checkered flag next to his name. Lando Norris enters in towards the final corner, and let's see what the young Brit can manage. Norris crosses the line and stays 6th with that lap. So that's that, as Hülkenberg enters through the bus stop chicane in the EMR. He's currently 9th at the minute, as he now just goes out of the second to last corner. Up towards the final corner goes Hülkenberg, which is Lorenzo corner, and let's see I would presume this will probably be his final flying lap, but we will see. As he heads down the pit straight, and Hulkenberg crosses the line and does not improve. And yep, that was his final flying lap. Stays 9th for today. As Verstappen, meantime, crosses the line. No improvement. Stays on the 1 minute 18.126 on his final flying lap. As Roland about to start a lap. Here comes Sebastian Vettel in the EMR. He's currently 4th. Is this going to be an improvement then for the German? As he heads down the pit straight and across the line goes Vettel. No improvement, stays 4th, and this is his final flying lap he is currently on. And Ricciardo now then heading down the pit straight, and he stays in 3rd place for the moment as Armstrong heads out of the final corner and onto the pit straight goes the Kiwi, and no improvement on his final flying lap, stays in 19th position. As Vinio about to start his final flying lap quite soon. We look back at Ollie Rowland in the Monster. Just over 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. And so far then, in his final few minutes, here's what the leaderboard looks like. It's Verstappen, Alonso, Ricciardo, Vettel, Bottas, Norris, Giovinazzi, Newgarden, Hulkenberg, Rosenqvist, Raikkonen, Leclerc, Dixon, DaCosta, Verline, Verne, Vinio, Hartley, Armstrong, Van Dorn, Palmer and Rowland. That's how the leaderboard currently looks now then, as Rowland now then goes in towards the bus stop chicane, as we have under a minute now left here for day 3 here at the ref. As now through the second to the last corner goes Ollie Rowland, and up towards the final corner goes the young Brit, the newly recruited Mercedes reserve driver, I believe, or development driver, one of the two in real life, Rowland. So Rowland crosses the line, no improvement, stays in 22nd, as Vettel stays 4th on his final flying lap, so P4 for Sebastian Vettel. As Verline about to start his final flying lap quite soon. We look at Aero Vinio. Through the right-hander we go, and as you can see now then, through the double left-hander we go. Vinio enters towards the double right-hander as he's 5 tenths down in the second sector there. And so now up towards the bus stop we go. And as the checkered flag comes out, and Vinio's made a huge mistake into that into the chicane there. The checkered flag is out, and that is the end of the session. Wasn't really keeping an eye on the countdown there, but day 3 has come to an end as the checkered flag man will be out, and Vinio's wrecked his next flying lap there by locking up heavily at the last part of that bus stop there. He crosses the line, no improvement, and he's on his second flying lap because we know how X patch works. It allows anyone to do their final 2 laps as Dixon and Giovinazzi just prove. Rowland now then up towards the final corner on his final flying lap, as he's already done a previous flying lap a little bit earlier. Rowland down the pit straight he goes, and across the line goes the young Brit, and he stays in last, no improvements. So Rowland finishing up in last place. Verline through turn 6 he goes. Verline currently 15th at the minute, as he just goes through the double left-hander now then. Through he goes, and he will now enter towards the double right. 5 tenths down in the second sector goes Verline. Could be on for an improvement, but we will wait and see, as he just enters out of that right-hander up towards the bus stop chicane. And let's see what Verline is able to do, as he just comes out of that corner through the second last corner up towards Lorenzo corner. Then goes Verline, and whether this is penultimate or final flying lap I don't know, but he goes out of the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Pascal, and he does not improve, and he's on his final flying lap. Verline staying in 15th that lap. Here goes Vinio then on his final flying lap. The young Finn crosses the line and stays in 17th, no improvement. Dixon meantime improves to go up to 12th, so he gets in front of Leclerc on his final flying lap there then, or his penultimate flying lap, so he improves. Giovinazzi doesn't, he stays 7th. As we look back at Pascal Verline, he's just negotiating through turn 5, and he's 4 tenths down in the first sector there as he heads down the back straight towards turn 6. And so through the right-hander he goes, using as much of the curb as possible, as he will now approach the double left-hander then. Through the left-hander goes Verline, and he will now go through towards the double right. 8 tenths down in the second sector And it doesn't look like Verlaine's on for an improvement. It just looks like he's just picking up the miles for AMP. As we will now go up towards the bus stop chicane. So through he goes then. And let's see what the time's going to be then on his final flying lap. Up towards the final corner he goes. And heading down the pit straight. And Verlaine is now going to cross the line. And he stays where he is at the moment, which is P15. As Dixon approaches the final corner. And Dixon now then across the line he goes, and he stays 12th with that lap. Giovinazzi stays in 7th. So that's that for him. And that is everybody done then. So there you have it then. That is the end of day 3 here at the ref. And as a result, here are the results then of day 3. It's Verstappen fastest with Alonso 2nd, Ricciardo 3rd, Vettel 4th, Bottas 5th, Norris 6th, Giovinazzi 7th, Newgarden 8th, Hülkenberg 9th, Rosenqvist 10th, Raikkonen 11th, Dixon 12th, Leclerc 13th, De Costa 14th, Verlaine 15th, Vergne 16th, Vinio 17th, Hartley 18th, Armstrong 19th, Vandon 20th, Palmer 21st, and Rowland in 22nd position. So we'll wait for both Dixon and Giovinazzi to go back into the pits. It will cut to the main menu. It will remind you of the results, and then we will finish day 3, the live stream here for the penultimate day of pre-season testing. As Giovinazzi now then just goes through the double right-hander then, and he will now go up towards the bus stop chicane, and now through towards the section of corners. Then through the second last corner, he'll flip the car to the left to pull it back into the pits, which he does, and it says free practice is over, and it should cut back to the main menu, which it does. So there you have it then. After all of that, that is the end of day 3 here at Jerez. A reminder then of the results. Max Verstappen was fastest with Fernando Alonso 2nd, Daniel Ricciardo 3rd, Sebastian Vettel 4th, Valtteri Bottas 5th, Lando Norris 6th, Antonio Giovinazzi 7th, Joseph Newgarden 8th, Nico Hülkenberg 9th, Felix Rosenqvist 10th, Kimi Raikkonen 11th, Scott Dixon 12th, Charles Leclerc 13th, Antonio Felix da Costa 14th, Pascal Verlaine 15th, Jean-Noël Vergne 16th, Aero Vinio 17th, Brendan Hartley 18th, Marcus Armstrong 19th, Stoffel Vandon 20th, Will Palmer 21st, and Oliver Rowland in 22nd position. But guys, that's it then. That has been it for day 3 here at the ref. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been good to watch, and well, we just have one more left to go then. So until then, guys, for day 3, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, tomorrow at a later time of 6 PM GMT for the final day of pre-season testing and the final day here at the ref. And hopefully we'll be able to see some last lap pushes from all the drivers. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it, so thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the final day of pre-season testing before the start of the new season. Until then, take care.